What's up, my do life in a body you love chicks? Let's riff on consistency today. I don't know a single person who has could honestly say, "Oh, I've just like never struggled with consistency." Maybe there are some things that you don't struggle with consistency, but there's probably something in life that you have at least in the past. And we know when it comes to our health that like we don't have to be perfect to get results, right? And it's like this catch 22 because it's like, well, if I don't have to be perfect, like how lenient can I be? And so we have all these fun little ways of looking at it, like, you know, eat really healthy 8% of the time and then 20% of the time don't. And while that like concept may be true, it's a very hard thing to actually know. Am I doing 80%? We're not even always aware of like, am I dialed in enough? Am I trying to be too perfect? And I have a really simple way for you to know if you're being consistent enough. And that may seem like a crazy thing to even have to consider. Like, you probably think you know if you're being consistent enough. You're either in your head right now hearing me say this and being like, oh, I know for sure I'm not consistent enough. I screw up this. I'm constantly starting over, blah, blah, blah. Or you're like, yeah, I think I'm doing 80/20 or whatever the thing is. I eat healthy. I do this, I do that. But I'm not seeing results. We fall into one or two camps. And so here's how you know if your consistency is consistent enough. If the moderation that you're trying to live is well moderated, because that's another one of those things, right? Where it's a slippery slope. Here's what you do. And I don't even care what your behavior is. You look at your results. Are you getting results? If you are, then for the moment, you're consistent enough. There's an asterisk to this, so stay with me. But at least you're consistent enough right now if you're seeing results. If you're not seeing results, you're not consistent enough. Or you're just following the wrong steps, right? But we're going to assume, for the sake of this discussion, that you know what the right action steps are to take and that this is just a consistency thing, okay? So we get in our head that anytime we screw up, it means we're not consistent. And so I'm going to give you guys a little confession. I posted about this and you all popped off on it. So apparently this is a hot topic for all of us chicks. Uh I just completed my first workout today for the first time in probably about 9 days. Last night I had a mushroom Swiss burger with mayonnaise and French fries with ranch dressing and dipped it in ketchup as well at a bar where I was playing poker. I'm a health coach. I'm the one running the Keep It Off Academy, and this is my behavior. Shame on me. Now, here's why I actually don't care that that happened. And I'll tell you why it happened, but that doesn't even really matter. Well, let's start there. Here's why this happened. I have lots of excuses. You want to hear them all? Something extremely tragic emotionally happened um, in my life that affected like my friend group. We'll just leave it all there. And it was really like wild. It was like a wild scenario, terribly, terribly sad. Like I just brought up like a ton of emotional things. And grieving the loss of another friend that's pretty fresh still. And so it just emotional dumpster fire. And because it's midlife, why not put that on top of a week where my hormones go rogue? So I'm perimenopausal, but I still have pretty regular periods. I'm like 7 days late. My histamine issue that I have is triggered all over the place, which is related to progesterone, right? So I know my hormones are just, they're crazy. And so I'm emotional anyways from a situation. I'm emotional because my hormones are all over the place and my cravings are just like off the charts and I'm exhausted. And I think the exhaustion originally started emotionally, but then it ended up physically because I was not eating well and my hormones were all over the place. Now, my eating before had been like, I'm tracking macros because I'm in a calorie deficit right now. And that's easy peasy for me, but I didn't have the emotional bandwidth for it. So my food didn't go totally off the rails. You guys know I eat French fries. That's really not actually that uncommon for me. Um, because I don't eat perfect, right? but it's been less perfect. But I'm maintaining and it's whatever, but I'm in a funk. I'm not doing me. I'm not doing my normal routine, okay? And here's the part where this matters. The point of my rambling about all my personal business. I'm gonna tie it back to y'all, okay? Here's what I see women do all the time, especially when they have first gotten into a good groove with food or movement, when they're really starting to tap into this identity of like, I am a woman who takes care of myself. I am a woman who exercises. I am a woman who preps her meals. Like, we do a lot of identity work and Keep It Off. And you got to lock that in. But then here's the catch 22 of that is that anytime you deviate from this ideal that you have, then you think, I'm never going to get this. And it's so discouraging because you've been in a good groove. You're high vibing it. You're like, yes, things are great. And then for whatever reason, I don't care if it's because life lifed or your hormones happened or whatever, you just didn't do it for any reason. Doesn't matter. We make it mean I'm never really going to get all the way to my goals. I'm never going to be able to maintain it because this is what I always do. I always stop and have to start on Monday or blah, 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 whatever the thing is. And because we think that healthy people are healthy every freaking day, even though we say things like everything in moderation and 80-20 rule, and every woman who comes to me in the Keep It Off Academy, 9 times out of 10 at least, they're there because they want to lose weight and have a life. So literally the goal is to not have to be perfect, to be able to eat chicken wings and drink beer sometimes, and to sometimes be able to skip a workout and still get results. And so here's what will happen though. My clients will be getting great results. They'll be really consistent until they're not. And then their next coaching call turns into a confession series where I'm like, hey, how's it going? Oh, not great. I haven't worked out it all week and blah, blah, blah. And I go, all right, well, we're going to sort through all of that. We're going to figure out why it happened and then how we can do better next time, if we need to even do that. Because here's the thing, every once in a while, this is just going to happen. But here's the flip side of that. If you find yourself saying these things all the time, you might actually have a consistency problem, no matter how good the reasons are that it keeps happening. Here's how you know. Are you getting a result? It's the first thing I ask my clients. I look at their check-in form and I'm like, well, it says here that you lost 1.5 pounds this week. So even though you're telling me that you went totally ham and ate all the things and blah, 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 you lost 1.5 pounds. Do we really have a problem here? Isn't what you told me you wanted was to be able to go out on a Friday night and have wine at dinner and even eat out of the bread basket? Gasp! You wanted to be able to do that and maintain a healthy weight. And here we are. You're losing weight and you did the thing that you said you want to do. You went and you had wine and bread. And now you're judging yourself for having the wine and bread. Girl, you ain't got a consistency problem. You're consistent enough that you're getting results. What we have here, why am I brain farting? Help me out here, audience. What do we have here? We have you thinking that you need to be behaving like a perfect little health zealot, even though you don't even want to do that. You don't even want to live that way. Then you're mad at yourself when you're not living that way. What are we talking about here? Now, when you're on the path to building consistency and these little hiccups happen, they do sometimes need to be addressed. Does my situation that just happened need to be addressed? No. How do I know that? Because there was like a lot of situations that compiled all at one time. And I already got back on the horse today. 9 days is a long time for me to not have a workout. Probably the longest that I've had in a long time. But you know what? When I was new to this, it did need to be addressed because I would be inconsistent a lot. I would quit doing my workouts a lot because it wasn't really locked in enough yet for me. Things would keep happening. And with my food, especially, the food was like the worst for me. You guys know I love food. And so it was constantly something. Oh, we went to this party. Oh, the kids had this. Oh, I didn't have time to meal prep. I always had a reason that I wasn't eating as healthy as I wanted to be or following my calories like I needed to be or whatever. And it was enough that I would take a step back and go, oh, I'm not really seeing results. Now we can trick ourselves into thinking that we are because maybe we're behaved well enough and yeah, we're behaved for long enough that we lose 5 pounds. And we're like, see, I'm consistent enough. I'm doing the things. And then whatever little thing happens that throws us back off, then we turn around and we regain it. And then we're like, well, all right, starting over. And so we're just circling because we do need to handle the habit and the mindset work. We're not being consistent enough and we're letting ourselves off the hook. I'm so good at that. Can I just tell you? And while you're listening to this, I want you to think, are you somebody who tends to be too hard on yourself? You will change a plan that's actually working because it's not working fast enough. Or you will judge yourself for eating a cookie, even though you're getting results and you're eating good, probably better than 80% of the time. And you're doing all the things that you actually need to be doing, but every one little thing that you don't do that's right, you're judging yourself because you're not living up to the standard that you've set. Do you tend to be on that side of the camp? Or are you more of like what I call a justifier? That's where I live. I can justify any bad behavior. Like during COVID, when people would drop off food in the ER. Thank you, community, for all the tacos, by the way. And I would be like, I deserve these COVID tacos. Everybody else is at home in their pajamas, living their best life, not even working, or if they are, it's on Zoom. And I'm here every day taking care of people. I got to wear this stupid hazmat suit. I'm eating these tacos, right? Like, that's a silly example, but you know how it is. It's like there's always something. Oh, I have my kids' dance competition. Oh, I got to take my kids to practice. Like, those things that keep popping up that are getting in your way of being consistent, it's not that they're untrue things. This is the funny thing about like excuses, right? They're not made up, they're real. They're excuses if you continue to let them stop you. They're obstacles that you learn to overcome if you're on a real path to getting sustainable results. So we all have them. We all have things that are going to happen. Life is going to life. We have busy calendars, cravings. Your job is to find the solution for those. It doesn't matter. So tough love, here we go. Girl, does it even matter if the cravings are because of your hormones, or the belly fat is because of your hormones, or you keep binging because your husband's bringing in Doritos, or you don't have time to meal prep? All of those things might be true. Do you think that they have a solution? Because if you do not think that they have a solution, you're screwed, just to be honest. If you don't think that there's a solution for those problems, nobody can help you. I can hand you the best plan. You're not going to follow it. I can even give you solutions to those problems. You won't do any of them. Everything that I would sit there and say to you and be like, well, what about this? What about this? What about, you'd be like, oh, that won't work because of this. That won't work because of this. People who get results, we sit on the phone together or in Messenger. I do a lot of coaching in Messenger. And I go, give me all the excuses of why it didn't happen this week. Tell me the reasons why it didn't happen. And then I don't take it at surface level. I go, okay, cool. I get very, very detailed into that exact moment when your brain was melting, you got home from work, nothing was prepped, and you were like, I can't even think about this right now. We're just ordering takeout. Okay, I have solutions for that. I give my clients solutions. Then I go, would this work for you and your family and the way that your brain works? Yes. Okay, awesome. So we don't even care that this just happened. But now we have a strategy for when it happens again because it freaking will, right? Pretending that we're just going to like willpower our way through the next episode, that's not behavior change. That's not going to work. How long have you been trying to white knuckle it? How long have you been trying to tell yourself, I'm going to have more willpower next time. I'm just going to be more disciplined. I'm just going to buckle down. Nope. You have to find the solutions. That is your job. If you want results, you have to take ownership of those results. And every barrier that pops up, you have to problem solve it. Or if you're working with me, it's my job to problem solve it. It's your job to try to implement it. And then we go back and forth practicing it until it works. And that is when you get consistent. If you're not seeing results, that's what you got to do. You got to look for what are your real barriers, what are your real solutions, and then you have to practice them enough to where your behaviors become consistent and automated under most circumstances. Asterisks, under most circumstances, not all. Not all. There's going to be things that pop up that really throw you for a loop, even when this is so ingrained in who you are and what you do. You guys, I love working out. I love it. I did not. It took me a long time to fall in love with the workout aspects, and actually a lot of reading of research about why it's so freaking important. And now I'm just fully convinced that it's like the most important piece of all of this. Um, and I'll debate anybody on that. Like women putting on muscle and working on their mobility and their joints and like this is everything, okay? And as much as I love it, sometimes I miss a whole entire week. It doesn't happen often, but it happens. And I don't care. I'm okay with it. Can you be okay with it? Can you, if you're consistent enough to see results, can you just chill out? Can you just be a little bit nicer to yourself? Now, here's what I will say. Sometimes in the beginning, we're consistent enough that we're getting results because we haven't given our body anything nice in so long that results come easy. And that's great. That's like, don't even be mad about that. It's like, oh, I never used to, I would just eat like one meal a day and snack all day. And we get you eating 2 meals a day and snacking a little bit less. All right. Is that like the most consistent way that you could eat? The most perfect way that you could eat? No. Is there more we need to address here? Yes. But right now, is it working for you? Also, yes. Awesome. We still need to build more consistency. We still need to further develop the plan because even though you're getting results now, that's going to plateau, right? Like there, sometimes you do need to be tweaking your plan and dialing things in and working on the consistency as you go. In the beginning, you do one workout a week. Your body's going to change. That's not going to last long though. Eventually, you're going to need two. Sometimes you might even need three. Depends on what your goals are and how far along the journey you are, right? But usually you're going to see results with two. Uh, So that's the point of all of this rambling is we're not always really great at judging our own level of consistency. Most women are either being too hard on themselves because we have crazy expectations or being too lenient with ourselves, justifying why we're not doing the things, letting ourselves off the hook more than we ought to, being like, well, I do good most of the time. And it's like, that's fine if it's giving you a result. But the real punch in the face is if it's not giving you a result, it ain't right, sister. It's not consistent enough or it's not the right plan. So I think this is really important for us to like evaluate once in a while. This is the point of tracking progress. If you're maintaining, you don't need to be tracking your progress. You just need to be making sure that things are dialed in, right? But if you have an actual body composition goal, you're trying to lose fat, you're trying to build muscle, whatever it is that you're trying to do, are you tracking your progress? You got to be tracking your progress in some meaningful way because that's the litmus test against your behavior is to go, all right, well, I think I'm doing this. Do I have results to show for it? Yes or no? If not, something's got to change. Either moderation ain't moderated, the 80/20 ain't right, something along those lines. So I would love to know how this one sits with you guys. As always, shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram and let me know. And I'll see you on the next episode.